Becoming an unbothered baddie is not to be petty or is not to spite other people. It's for your own freaking life. It's for your own health. Hi babes, and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to bring y'all something that has helped me so much in the past few months, and it's about how to become unbothered. Literally going from overthinker to completely unbothered. And this is a game changer. This is everything. Seriously, emotional control, emotional mastery is everything, especially when it comes to feminine energy and truly leveling up. Now, first of all, I want to go into a little bit of what does leveling up even mean? I feel like it's such an overused term. Up level your life, level up in your feminine energy, all this stuff. And it seems intriguing. It's like this buzzword, right? But I think because it's so overused, we've literally lost touch of the actual meaning behind it. And so what does leveling up even mean? Well, to me and to my community and to my students and clients, leveling up means changing your identity. It means stepping into the highest version of yourself, your quantum self, the up-leveled version of yourself. This means being able to drop the bad habits, drop the limiting beliefs, the thought patterns that are holding you back from actually experiencing even just a peaceful life, a feminine, relaxed life as women. We're so indoctrinated and brainwashed to believe that we need to be exactly the same as men, that we need to do the same things, have the same achievements, like be these boss babes. I'm a hyper independent boss babe, that sort of energy. And that's really, really exhausting to women. And a lot of us don't want to admit that. But I have found out the hard way, just as many of the women that work with me and watch my channel have. We're ready to continue to be in this soft life. We're not here for the hustle, for the struggle. That game is only fun for so long, and then you realize you're burnt out and you have adrenal fatigue and you actually end up developing health issues from this. So a big part of this and a big part of the leveling up is becoming unbothered. Now, I know this is another word that a lot of people like to throw around, like, oh, be unbothered, like don't give an F. It's really more than that. We don't really talk about the true benefits for you that come from it and how it can actually make your life better. It's not supposed to be this petty thing of being like unavailable because you want to be passive aggressive or petty or something like that, because that's still you holding resentment in yourself, in your body. And so it still doesn't benefit you if you're doing it for those reasons. But I totally feel you because I started there too. So no shame, let's just go ahead and get better and move forward. So the first step of becoming unbothered is to be able to heal your triggers. And what this means is to be able to release them from your nervous system. I talked about this in other videos, but your triggers come up because your nervous system becomes literally triggered. It freaks out whenever you have something that has to do with a past trauma or a limiting belief that you have, something that doesn't align with your subconscious reality, and your nervous system freaks out because it goes into fight or flight mode. I go into this super in-depth in the Quantum Queen initiation course, but I'm just going to keep it general here so we can get the gist of things. So the main thing that I would suggest for healing your triggers, or even just dealing with them in general, is having a system in place that you have a plan on what to do every time you get triggered. Because what can happen, and I still experience this, is when you get triggered, our emotions come into play and our emotions start running everything. That's why I said emotional mastery and emotional maturity, not necessarily control over your emotions, but this plan to deal with them when they arise will help you so much in becoming unbothered. Because like I said, it's not supposed to be this petty thing where you're acting unbothered, but truly you're like super triggered inside. This is truly becoming unbothered, where you are not even getting triggered. Your nervous system is not having that flare up of literal cortisol releasing in your body and adrenaline in this fight or flight mode. That keeps you unhealthy at a mental level, at a physical level. And that you cannot be in your feminine energy whenever you are triggered like this. So when you already have a system in place, before you even get to the trigger, you don't let your emotion completely run the show whenever you get there. You're able to actually be like, okay, let's step back for a second. We already have this plan in place. This is how we deal with triggers, and it no longer derails your day. And so this is so important whenever something like this comes up, because I know my community wants to know, how do we get into our feminine energy? How do we get into that feminine divinity? And that comes with being unbothered. You cannot be in your relaxed, soft life, feminine energy if you're always in fight or flight mode. Those two don't go together. They don't mesh. You're going to literally develop health issues if you continue to stay stay in this state, if you continue to let the trauma run your emotional reactions, run your body, affect your literal physiology. And this is how most people are allowing themselves to exist in life. When the emotions come into play like this, we aren't even aware that this is derailing our entire life. When we are able to cut off the self-sabotage, cut off the triggers before they derail a day, an hour, a week, however long that you can take to even get over these triggers. I know that it used to take me even 6 months to get over something whenever I wasn't doing it consciously. Sure, we can not put in the inner work and just allow time to pass and allow our triggers to fizzle down and our nervous system to calm down from one. But if you're never truly going in and getting to the root of it and releasing it, then it's always, even if those 2 years pass or those 6 months or however long it takes you for your nervous system to feel back into the mode of safety, whereas hopefully another trigger didn't come up in the meantime and start that process all over again. But if you never get to the root of it and really allow yourself to release it, it's just going to happen over and over again. It doesn't matter how long you give yourself to allow yourself to calm down, to put yourself in a safe space where no one's ever going to trigger you again, which is just completely unrealistic, no matter what the trigger is. Maybe it's a trigger for a past addiction, which in reality, all of our emotional reactions are pretty much these addictions that we have. They give us something. It's this neural pathway that we have created over and over and over again. That's pretty much a habit at the very least, if not an addiction in our brain, which is the main organ of the nervous system. So at a physiological level, your trauma is controlling your life. Your emotions are controlling your life and your health. Becoming an unbothered baddie is not to be petty or is not to spite other people. It's for your own freaking life. It's for your own health. And so I think when we realize how actually important this is, we can take it more seriously rather than it being sort of a trendy topic of, wow, I don't give an F, like I'm super unbothered and I want to live my life like that because I want to be like the cool girl. No, it's not about that. It's about living a healthy, feminine life as a woman. And of course, this can benefit men too. Everyone benefits from healing their triggers and releasing them. I think the word healing can almost get stuck in, let's continue to talk about this and fix what's already wrong. It's not about fixing what's already wrong. It's about releasing it and then moving on to the next identity. That's what leveling up is. Leveling up is not going in and necessarily fixing what is wrong. We can say this potentially with limiting beliefs where we can go in and just rephrase them. But that shouldn't be something that you get stuck on because that still keeps you in your current reality. That never keeps you up leveling. That never keeps you truly leveling up your identity and being able to hold that new one, because that's what this is all about. If you keep landsliding backwards, say you go like 1, 2, 3, 6 months of this continuous up-leveling process, you were on your workouts, you're on your business, you're doing all the things that you said you were going to do, all the commitments that you made to yourself. What derails that? It's usually some sort of trigger that starts to derail you back into the old past version of yourself. That's it. It's some sort of trigger that makes you feel unsafe, makes you feel like your nervous system's freaking out. So you're like, all right, let's go back to comfortable. Let's go back to, I call the comfort zone the poison zone, honestly, because when you go back there, that's where you were when you were the person you didn't want to be anymore. That was before you leveled up. And so that no longer serves you. That's the poison zone. The comfort zone's a trick. That is taking you back into that past version of yourself. Don't fall for it. But what takes you back there? It is the triggers. It is getting bothered. It is because you didn't truly go in and release it. You just decided to spiritually bypass and go to the next level while still dragging along this trauma with you. I say this a lot in my courses. All of the implementation and the hard work and the trying to be feminine, whether that be through your habits or actions or even your dress, clothes, all that, you're not going to have that in your core because you don't have a relaxed nervous system and because you haven't taken the time to truly release the triggers, release the trauma. Decide that you're simply no longer there for that past version of yourself. We're only looking forward. We're only going up. We're up leveling. And so when you have reached the point where you can stop the self-sabotage in the process of it, instead of letting yourself go down, like fully go down from 100 to 0 into that self-sabotage pit. And so when you have to pick yourself back out of that hole and start over again from 0, that's going to take a lot longer. That's a lot more damaging. Like that's going backwards in growth. So whenever you're actually able to master these triggers and release them for good, you can stop yourself. Whenever you get down to like 100 to 90, you're like, whoa, like this is my old self coming up. These are triggers that I have not dealt with. Thank you for coming out so I can deal with them now. And now we're going to keep moving forward because this no longer derails me. This no longer pulls me back in. All right, so those are a few of the ways, or actually the foundation of ways where you can truly become unbothered. I like to call it an unbothered baddie. But really, this will change your life. This will change your mental and physical health. And this is pretty much the foundation that I feel everyone should be taught in their life. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.